the baseline, going one-on-one. Got it done, and a chance for a three-point play.
Pulls up for a jumper, got it!
Look out. Oh, and one! A one-handed rim shaker.
Oh my goodness!
And inside, how about it?
Love that.
How about it? Free ball, good.
What a fake on Wick. Furious jam!
From Washington, D.C., the capital just a few miles away tonight, the AU Eagles welcome in the Bucknell Bison in Patriot League basketball action. Good evening, everyone. Dan Lang alongside David Aldridge and D.A. When you take a look at this matchup, you see the Eagles, they're home. The next 4 of 5 are here. They're coming off a road loss. They really need this one tonight.
No doubt about that, Dan. I mean, this is the time of the year where you want to start making your move. To have all these games at home, the conference remains, I think, open. Colgate lost today, for example. So Americans got to make hay while the sun shines, as they used to say, and take advantage of this home streak and maybe get some momentum going.
Let's jump into our players to watch. Speaking of momentum, and one of the guys, as we look at the Eagles player to watch, Mark Gasparini, really needs to get things going.
Well, Mark has played very consistently this year, and then in the last game he struggled, but he's been much better around the basket. He's been very aggressive this year. I think this is what happens when you're a senior and you realize, hey, this might be it for me, and you really concentrate, you pay attention to all the details. You're really locked in, and Mark's been locked in.
Yeah, he's going to play with some purpose tonight as he's coming off a 2-point game in the loss against Lehigh. As for your player to watch for Bucknell, it's their big man, Paul Newman.
Well, it is. You know, Bruce Morris not going to play tonight. Their normal starter had a hip injury in practice. So Paul Newman has started some games for them this year. He's a very good active shot blocker. So he's a guy that really sets the tone for them defensively, can get them going. And as Coach Davis told us before the game, defense is where they need to improve. They've been better of late, but they still have to work at it.
Yeah, and he's also regarded as their top rebounder. For more on this matchup, let's check in with the third member of our crew, Penny Commit.
Well, guys, it's clear to see that Coach Brennan has gotten pretty comfortable with his starting lineup, as it hasn't changed over the course of 14 games. But I actually want to throw some recognition towards the bench. If you look at players like Josh Alexander, who was able to notch 11 rebounds in just 22 minutes of play last game, or Connor Nelson, who has been sinking threes, it's clear to see that AU actually does really well when they start pulling from their non-starters, and maybe they should start reconsidering their lineup a little bit. They've been doing so well that they're actually 2-0 in Patriot League play when their bench outscores their opponent. So I'm excited to see these guys maybe get a little bit more playing time and just see how they progress throughout the season and for tonight. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Penny. We'll see how all that shakes out. Starting lineups and tip next. Welcome back inside Bender Arena. Let's get you tonight's starting lineups. First for the AU Eagles, overall record of 6-9, sitting 2-2 in Patriot League conference play. And there you see the starting lineup led by Saeed Nelson, coming off a 19-point game in the loss against Lehigh. Also Jameer Harris, it's a birthday for him, 22 years old for Jameer today on his birthday. Of course, the Eagles hoping to pick up a victory. Let's check out the starting lineup for the Bucknell Bison, overall 7-10, playing with a 3-1 record in conference play. Nathan Davis, the head coach, in his 5th season at the helm of the Bison program. And there you see their starting lineup, a little different than maybe you would have expected if you follow the Bison, if you follow the Patriot League, and that's because they have a couple players. Andrew Funk out with the flu. Bruce Moore is dealing with a strained hip flexor, so he won't play tonight, and he is a big piece to their puzzle. He's coming off a 12-point game, and last time these teams played, Moore had 11 points, 11 rebounds in the victory here at Bender Arena that the Eagles pulled off last year, ending a 5-game winning streak that the Bison had against the Eagles. So that'll be an interesting thing to see how that all plays out. There you see Coach Brennan, Mike, in his 7th season leading the Eagles, and actually was an assistant when Pat was a player in the 70s, dating way back. Bison with the ball to begin the game. Sotos slings it over as Ellis drives, feeds back out. Now the turnaround shot is good for Newman.
Good start by Newman, important for the Bison. They, as you mentioned, shorthanded, and offense has come and gone. The defense has been better of late, and that's what Nate Davis is really looking for from his team.
Yeah, as I said, it'll be interesting to see how those players that aren't in there tonight, as Jameer Harris takes the shot and is unable to make it, but the rebound is there for Newman. The Bison this year, a little bit different than in years past. They don't necessarily have that one or two players that really are their standout guys like Kimball McKenzie, Nate Sestina, as Bunya said, had that one partially knocked.
Yeah, Ellis got back, blocked the shot. No, they are a sum of the parts team this year. I think there's no question about that, Dan. But still a good team. And here's another turnover. This has been part of the problem for Bucknell this year is the turnovers. They've had games with huge turnovers that's really hurt them, certainly in the non-conference play. Less so maybe in the Patriot League play, but turnovers have been a real problem for them so far this year.
Yeah, they're averaging 14 turnovers a game. That number has gotten a little bit better in Patriot League play. Bunya working it to Gasparini. Now Saeed Nelson looks to drive. Turnaround shot as he goes over Newman. Doesn't have the tender touch, and there to grab the rebound is Sotos. Sotos also dealing with the flu bug. He's back after missing practice a few days ago. Be interesting to see what the Bison can get from him tonight. Meeks slings it over, quick ball movement. There's Sotos as he puts it up. No good. Rebound there for Gasparini.
You know, one thing Mike Brennan was talking to his team about the last couple of days, and that's a charge. It's a good call. Sotos beat him to the spot. It's a good call. Is making sure defensively they communicate, because you see Bucknell is really good at moving the ball side to side. It's their strength this year, really, as they try to create open shots for people. But here's an example. Here's where Sotos I think he just beat him to the spot. I think it's a good call.
So Nelson with one foul as Sotos drives and is able to make good on it. He's averaging 13 points a game. Last game, Sotos had 4 in their victory against Holy Cross, 75-60 last time out. "15 seconds on the shot clock. Gasparini, and a lot of traffic knocked away there by Sotos.
Good late double team there on Gasparini. I don't think he saw it coming.
Sotos.
Yep. Good smart play by Sotos.
Yep.
So, you know, one thing Nathan Davis said is that with the flu situation that Sotos is playing with, he may take him out a little earlier than normal, because, you know, the wind is probably going to be a factor. He hasn't practiced much all week. He was wearing a mask at the hotel the last couple of days. I mean, he's really been laid low by the flu, and that happens this time of year, Dan. You know, teams are together, they're coming back from break, you know, they bring whatever germs they got on the break. Happens a lot at all levels of basketball.
Sotos already, though, with 4 points, 2 from the field and 2 from the free throw line. Bucknell up 6-0 here early on in DC. Becton. Now it's Gasparini with it. 17 minutes to play, and that's going to go into the hands of John Terry, the SID for Bucknell.
3 turnovers early for AU. It's not the start you want if you're Mike Brennan. We talked about it at the beginning. You know, this is the game AU really needs to win after a tough loss at Lehigh over the weekend.
There was an 82-73 loss up at Stabler Arena. Quick hands there for Nelson, but unable to secure it, but that is going to be a foul on Sotos. So Sotos charged with his first, and he is going to check out. And onto the floor is going to be Xander Rice, the freshman from New Jersey, son of the Monmouth head coach, King Rice.
Remember King Rice at North Carolina?
Yeah.
Excellent player.
Becton working it to Bunya. Eagles looking to get on the board. Harris. Now Nelson with it. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Bunya working with 5 seconds as Saeed drives. Puts up the shot. No good. Gasparini with the rebound. And he'll draw the foul.
We've seen Mark Gasparini become very adept at that this year, Dan, following Saeed right to the front of the rim. And he's cleaned up with a number of putbacks, offensive rebounds, getting fouled. Watch him here. He just follows Saeed right to the rim. And if Saeed misses, he's in position to get the rebound and keep the possession alive for the Eagles.
Gasparini at the free throw line. He's a 73% shooter from the charity stripe, and that gets the Eagles on the board. The foul, by the way, charged to Avi Toomer. Talented senior guard for the Bison.
He might be bleeding. Looks like he may be bleeding. Got to take a 30-second timeout, see if they can wrap that up, stop the bleeding. I think he's probably, looks like Josh Alexander was coming to the scorer's table anyway for him, so we'll see if he makes the second free throw. And you can kind of get settled in. Probably more important than anything else, you get to practice every day. You know, have a couple of 2 or 3 really good days of practice between the games. There's no travel days involved.
So Gasparini does indeed check out, as you had noticed. So in is going to be Josh Alexander, coming off a pretty good game up there at Lehigh. 8 points, 11 rebounds. Toomer being shadowed by Harris.
So
Rice.
If you're Bucknell with all the people out, somebody has to come off the bench, whether it's Rice or someone else, and give you some real good minutes. Look at the activity there by Newman. Great job.
And Newman now playing with 4 points. That's what he had in the last game, and close to his season average of 6. And in case you're wondering, no relation to Paul Newman, the actor. Coming away with it is Meeks. That's going to be knocked away by Becton. He got up high.
Spiked that one.
Almost like a volleyball play. There you see, able to pick it up is Ellis. Watch Becton. Boom. That takes us to a timeout. It is an 8-2 Bucknell edge. 8-2. Bucknell has the lead here with 15.5 to play in the first. Avi Toomer puts up the long-range shot and hits it. So Toomer first made 3 of the game for either team.
Yeah, remember last year, AU won the game here at home over Bucknell, and AU got off to a 15-2 lead. It's pretty much the opposite here tonight so far for Bucknell, getting off to the great start.
Harris from the corner looking for the answer, and it rattles home. Six-point edge for the Bison. Meeks working it over. It's going to be knocked away by Bragg. 10 seconds on the shot clock as Meeks buzzes toward the basket. It's going to be taken away.
Stripped by Harris, who had gotten beat but recovered in time to get the steal.
Alexander, Nelson. Here's Becton with 10 seconds on the shot clock. He's going to take one from three-point range and sinks it. Just a 28% shooter from beyond the arc, but he makes good on that one and pulls the Eagles to within 3.
Yeah, it's funny because last season, Stacey Becton was an outstanding three-point shooter for AU. I think it was 38-39%. He just hasn't fallen this year, but Mike Brennan's trying to encourage him. Hey, keep shooting, you know, you're a good shooter.
Harris there trying to find Alexander, but it's going to be knocked away. So you know it's there. You know he can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Repeatable action.
Shot there is up. No good, but there is going to be some contact. That's going to be called on Harris.
Yeah, the strength of Bucknell this season, I think, I mean, they've got some size. Don't get me wrong with Newman and with Bruce Moore, but I really think it's the guard play. I think they're guards that go the 3-guard lineup most of the time when Funk is available. He's not available tonight, but you know it's Funk, it's Sotos, it's Toomer, it's Rice when he plays, it's Ellis. I think those are the guys that really can kind of offensively get them going this year.
Rice able to make good on both ends from the free throw line. Bragg expecting to see some increased minutes here tonight. Alexander feeding to Nelson, and Saeed with the flush. First points of the game for Saeed.
He and Josh Alexander have real good chemistry on that backdoor cut. It's something that Josh looks for, and Josh has been very adept at making that entry pass to Saeed.
There's Sotos creating space, putting it up and hitting it. Sotos sticking the three. He's now got 7 points tonight. Here's Harris putting up the long-range shot, no good. That's going to end up out, and it'll be Bucknell basketball.
Here's the action again. It's the back action. You know, that's not the easiest pass for a big man to make, and Josh has been very good at it so far this season. Real good chemistry between him and Saeed.
The feed to Spear as he drives. Shot no good, and Alexander gets the rebound. Saeed pushing the tempo. Quick feed underneath. It's good for Becton. Eagles pulled it within 4. More good chemistry there of knowing where the teammate was.
Sure. Well, that's what happens when you play with a guy for 3 years now. You know, I mean, you know where he's going to be.
Driving, shooting, no good there for Meeks. Here's Nelson. Saeed trying to find some space. The shot's up, no good. Loose ball. Tracking it down is going to be Connor Nelson. Now Saeed with it again in the corner. Saeed feeding off. Connor left side, puts up the three and hits the three. Connor Nelson coming off a huge game, 19-point game up at Lehigh. Has a three here tonight, pulling AU to within 1.
I'll tell you what, Connor Nelson is not afraid to pull the trigger. Nothing wrong with that.
No, when you have the range, you might as well take advantage of it, right?
Absolutely.
Shot is up. That's off the rim, no good. A 13-3 run for the Eagles. So you mentioned the start that Bucknell had. Well, the Eagles have been able to temper that a bit.
Good recovery by AU after a slow start. They never really recovered against Lehigh the other night after getting off to a slow start.
Becton putting it on the deck. Another whistle.
I think they're going to say it's on the pass, so it'll be side out to AU when they come back from timeout.
So as we take a timeout with 10:39 to play here in the first.
Good look. Sotos giving them a lift so far. Bucknell's up by 1. We're near the midway point of the first half.
You're watching today's contest on the Patriot League Network on Stadium. For the latest Patriot League news and information, follow the official league account on Twitter @Patriot League. Should be an interesting season in the Patriot League. Has been to this point. Really doesn't seem like there is a defined dominant team in the conference.
Well, I mean, I think Colgate's the team to beat, Dan.
Sure.
They have been, but they got beat today.
Right,
to your point. I mean, that's what, you know, it is wide open in that sense. It's because it's the Patriot League. But, you know, I think for any team in that next group, whether it's AU or Bucknell, Boston University's been playing very well out of the gate so far. You know, you want to be in that 2 or 3 spot, you know, where you know you're going to host at least one game in the tournament. Maybe you get a chance to host 2. And then, you know, you get one shot maybe up at Colgate for the chance to go to the tournament. I mean, that's how I think I would approach it if I were some of the other teams in the conference. There's not a whole lot of difference between 2 and 7 to me this year.
Connor Nelson gonna draw some contact. So that's going to be on Walter Ellis. His father, the former NBA player LaFonso Ellis.
LaFonso very well. Covered LaFonso for many years in the NBA. Very, very physical, low post guy, rebound, could make a shot. Good player.
So cool to see his son out here on the floor.
Can't imagine what that's like, Dan. I just can't imagine.
Yeah. Bunyacit has it knocked away. Quickly ahead, the shot is up. That's no good.
Great. Did they call a foul?
That's what it looks like.
Well, the referee underneath the basket did not call a foul, but the trail official apparently saw something. Okay.
So that puts Ellis at the free throw line. Or he's perfect this season, 4 for 4.
So you've got Walter Ellis, who's LaFonso Ellis' son. You have Xander Rice, who's King Rice's son. You know, some
pretty good bloodlines that Nathan Davis is bringing in.
At Bucknell here.
Ellis with his first point of the evening. 1 point lead for Bucknell, 17-16.
Their defense so far has been very good. I think they've gotten AU deep into shot clocks without really having much going on, and we're seeing that again now.
YY trying to work his way.
That's a travel
in.
or a 3 second or whatever you want to call it. The AU got bailed out there.
Yeah.
The jump ball to alternate possession as YY traveled first.
Let's check in with Penny. What do you have?
Well, you guys were just talking about focusing on being low in the post, and you're absolutely right. Brendan, in the last timeout, talked about how, although they were doing pretty well with shooting some three-pointers, he wanted, especially after putting YY in, to focus much more on being low in the post, focusing on rebounds, and hopefully that is what's going to finally bring them ahead of now. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Penny, as Gasparini got that rebound. Mark trying to drive to the paint, navigating, turning, shooting, no good. Rebound comes down for Toomer.
Newman's done a nice job defensively so far against Mark. You know, he's not looking to block the shot, just saying, hey, just shoot over, I'm 6'9", shoot over the top of my hand. That foul. It's on Sotos, and that's his second, so he's probably going to have to come out.
So Sotos is going to step off the floor. John Meeks, Xander Rice back on the floor for the Bison. There's Nelson, Connor, quick feed. Now Bunyacit, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Saeed, 10 seconds on the shot clock, working it over to Harris.
Once again, deep in the clock.
Bunyacit puts up the shot, no good. The putback, though, is for Connor Nelson.
Good recognition by Harris, seeing the shot, or Nelson rather, seeing the shot was going to be short and attacking the offensive glass.
Eagles back on top by 1, 18-17.
Offensive foul there on Meeks, it looks like. Tried maybe clearing out with the offhand as he tried to post up.
There you see the shot from Bunyacit. And you saw Nelson come streaming in there.
Yeah, he's really been a big boost for AU. You know, junior college transfer. He's earned those minutes. He's won those minutes.
There's Harris losing a handle on it. It'll be Bucknell basketball. And that takes us to a timeout on the floor. 7:55 left to play here in the first. Eagles up 1 on the Bison, 18-17. Welcome back here to Washington, D.C. Eagles of American University, home versus the Bucknell Bison. both these teams, lots of well-known coaches coming through. And DA, you take a look at some of the big keys for AU.
Sure, look at Jimmy Lynam, who was an NBA head coach for 10 years. Had some really good teams in Philly in the 80s. Obviously, Gary Williams won the national championship at Maryland. Jeff Jones still at Old Dominion. So we'll see Bucknell's tree. It's just as impressive as AU's, but no doubt that the quality of coaching in this league over the years has just been phenomenal, you know, at all levels. And most of the schools have had just really, really great coaches come through.
And it's shown by the quality of basketball that we've seen. As Newman, turnaround shot is up, no good. Loose ball, he'll pick it up with a fresh shot clock. The shot here is up off the rim, no good for Ellis, and the rebound is there for Gasparini.
Not a great foul there by Toomer, and that's going to be his second, I think. We talked about Bucknell's coaches. Jay Wright didn't coach at Bucknell, but he played there in the late 70s, early 80s. Obviously went on to Villanova and great fame there. Jim Valvano did coach at Bucknell. It was his first head coaching job before he went to Iona and then NC State, where he won the national championship. And then the legendary Charlie Woolham, who was there 18 years and wound up with more than 700 career D1 victories at Bucknell and William & Mary. I mean, again, the coaching in this league has just been sensational.
Shot for Saeed, good.
That doesn't even leave out, you know, it leaves out a guy like Dave Paulson, who had a great run with Bucknell. You know, Eddie Tapscott, who was the head coach when I was here at American, is now working for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, you know, the pedigree in this league has been good. Teams in this league has been good for a very long time.
Eagles now with a 3-point lead as we approach the 7-minute mark here in the first. Rice working it to Meeks, who drives, trying to find some space, as it knocked away by Gasparini, and Markle secure it over in the corner.
Nice play by Gasparini. Not going for the fakes, staying big and blocking the shot.
There's Connor Nelson driving, passing out to Nelson. Saeed now feeding to Connor Nelson. He's open, puts up the three, and drains the three. Connor sticks his second tray of the game, and the Eagles have opened up a 23-17 lead on the Bison.
It's come at the defensive end. We saw Bucknell got off to that great start. Looked like offensively they had some jump, but the Eagles have really shut it down. 21-6 run since Bucknell got off to that start. And we saw Gasparini defense leading to offense. That's what AU wants, is those transition opportunities.
And they've been able to take advantage of those opportunities, which is so important. And, you know, especially, again, if you're just joining us tonight, the Bison without a couple of their key pieces. Bruce Moore out with a strained hip flexor, and Andrew Funk, who's averaging 11 points, 5 rebounds, is out with the flu. Neither one even dressed. So those are a couple pieces out for the Bison, and the Eagles really looking to and needing to take advantage of that here tonight. As you see Coach Davis, his mom actually worked here at American University.
He was telling us
for 25 years.
How about that in the law school? How about that? Yeah.
He said he used to work out here in Bender.
Yeah, so, you know, I guess the connections are strong in the Patriot League.
Ellis.
But here's another stretch for AU where you want to expand this league. You've got Toomer and Sotos on the bench with 2 fouls each. You mentioned the guys that aren't even playing tonight. This is where you want to take this lead and really expand it.
Yeah. Really seize the opportunity. Eagles up 6 with 6 to play here in the first. Bunyasit looking for his first points of the game. Feeds off. Now here's Gasparini as he gets close to the rim but can't finish. And the rebound there for Malachi Rhodes. Here's Meeks. Rhodes puts it on the deck. It's going to be Robertson.
Connor Nelson, another steal for Connor Nelson. He is really a good instinctual player. He's got a good feel for the game. You know, he knows where the ball's going to be. He's anticipating really well at both ends of the floor so far.
Shot here is up, 3-point range, no good.
don't think Mike Brennan loved that shot from Jameer Harris. You know, you got time on the shot clock.
That's a long three-pointer from John Meeks. His first points of the game, coming off a 19-point performance in their win over Holy Cross.
Yeah, the American's going to tell timeout. He did not like that last offensive possession. You know, taking a shot with time on the shot clock. Again, we talked about it. They had a chance to kind of expand that lead further than 6, and you don't get good shots, and you wind up, you know, giving up a 3 to Bucknell at the other end. Hey, look, Bucknell's going to play hard. We know that.
Yeah.
You know, that's their pedigree. There's a reason why Bucknell has won 8 of the last 9 regular season titles, either won them outright or tied for it, you know, 5 straight. You know, Bucknell is the gold standard of this league. It has been for a long time.
And the only one in that stretch that they didn't was last year when they were tied with Colgate for the regular season.
Yeah, so I mean, they're going to play hard. They have standards. You know, they have expectations. They're not going to hang their heads if people are out. The next guy up is going to come and give you great effort. So you got to beat them if you want to beat them, because they're going to play hard for 40 minutes.
When you look at Nathan Davis, mentioned the 5 seasons here at Bucknell. They also had 6 seasons at Randolph-Macon and went to the NCAA tournament all 6 of those seasons and went to the D3 Final Four one of those seasons.
His first season there, he went to the Final Four, yeah. I mean, Nathan Davis has been a very good coach for a very long time. And there's another turnover, and that's what's keeping Bucknell in the game so far is AU miscues.
Penny's got something. Let's check in.
Thanks, guys. Well, I spoke before the game about how the Eagles bench has really been coming in clutch for this team, and I just want to drive home again. Connor Nelson, he has been a spark every time he steps onto the court. Last game, he had a career high against Lehigh. He led the team by 19 points, and right now he's been able to do so much in just 8 minutes of play. So it's clear to see the player is on a roll, and I'm just curious to see how Brennan continues to use him throughout the season in the Patriot League tournament. Back to you, Dan.
All right. Thanks, Penny. As Bunyasit gets his first points of the game, Eagles clinging to a lead, now only up by 3. As Meeks, who's come on, 5 points in the last few minutes. Ellis trying to find him, knocked away. Loose ball, there to pick it up is Rice. Quick fire over to the left corner. The shot there off the back part of the rim and no good. Gasparini out there along with Bunyasit, Becton, Saeed Nelson, and Harris.
You really like the high hands that Bucknell shows you.
Here's Gasparini. Turnaround shot is good. Mark did a good job there.
Took his time, Dan.
Yep.
You know, he knew he had the mismatch. He knew he had time. Just gather yourself and go up strong.
So Mark now with 4 points. That's already double his output of last game.
Yeah, I don't think anybody... That was a weird game. I mean, I've never seen a team miss so many layups.
There's Ellis as he drives. It's going to be knocked away, but there is going to be a foul.
Yeah, it was on Gasparini. Good call.
So Mark with his first foul. And that's going to bring us to a timeout.
There you see Mark taking his time, knows he has the mismatch. Go up strong with the right hand over the left shoulder. And American hangs on to this lead.
Back here inside Bender Arena, it's a 5-point edge for the Eagles. 27-22, just under 3 minutes to play here in the first. As at the free throw line is Walter Ellis.
I know, Dan, you probably get tired of me saying this, but it's all about all the time. Last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, and here we are, and we'll see which team, you know, takes advantage of it and goes into the half with some real momentum in what is a tight game, as we expected it would be.
3-point edge for AU right now as Bunyasit playing with only a couple of points. Now Becton looks to drive. It's going to be knocked out, but it'll stay with AU.
Once again, Bucknell's being very active defensively. If you're Nathan Davis, you got to love seeing that. The high hands really getting in passing lanes. A lot of deflections so far in this game, which have led to a lot of AU turnovers.
Here's Nelson. Saeed behind the back. Now underneath, puts the shot up. Can't finish, but does draw the foul.
Yeah, that hesitation. He's so crafty underneath there. He knows he spent his whole life playing against tall guys. He knows how to get open, and he knows how to draw contact. And watch this. Newman's in good position. And then just at the end, just a little lean to initiate the contact and draw the foul. And that's if there's some kids watching, you saw what Saeed Nelson did there. He went into the shot blocker. He did not try to finish over the shot blocker. And so many young players don't realize that, or they don't get taught that there's a way to neutralize somebody who's taller than you. Jump into them. They can't use their length against you.
Saeed, such a smart player. The Patriot League preseason player of the year. 3-point lead for AU. Just under 2.5 to play here in the first. Toomer working it to Sotos, who is back on the floor playing with a couple fouls. Shot here is up, and it's good. John Meeks with his second tray of the game.
Yep, we saw Bucknell was down, and they have come back to tie the game up. See if AU can finish the half strong.
All knotted up at 27 apiece. Under 2 to play. Here's Becton looking for the answer. Off the rim, no good. Into the hands of Connor Nelson. Back out, here's Saeed. Top of the key for 3, that's no good. And the rebound comes down for Toomer. At the other end, it rattles around, no good. There to pick it up is Marvin Bragg.
It was a good contest there by Saeed not to foul with 1 foul already. You don't want to pick up a cheap second foul late in the half.
Bragg put it on the deck. Here's Saeed, 3-point range. Off the back part of the rim, no good. Josh Alexander getting the rebound.
AU's not moving very much, Dan. It's making them easy to guard.
Connor Nelson puts up the shot. That's no good. Loose ball on the floor.
That'll be Bucknell's ball.
Nate Davis asking why that wasn't a foul. You can see him on the right side of your screen.
Yeah,
he's been fired up at the Zebras a lot here in this first half.
Yeah, you see an opportunity to win a game. Your kids have played hard. They've got off to a good start. They took a punch. They came back. So they're in the game. You got a chance to win a road game. Those are like gold. Those are like found money in this league. And Bucknell's putting up, what you thought. Again, what we said, they're going to give you a great effort no matter who's on the floor for them.
All knotted up at 27 apiece. Less than 50 seconds to play here in the first. Sotos driving, trying to pass it out. It'll be out of bounds, but it will stay with Bucknell.
Good recognition there by Becton on that hammer set that we see so many teams in college and pro ball play now, trying to spot up the corner 3 shooter.
Sotos feeding out. Here's Toomer. Newman out to Meeks, who drives, shoots, no good. Rebound is there for Becton.
You'll hold for the final shot here, I'm sure. Take their use it or lose it with 17.7 seconds left in the half. We try to set up this last play to take a lead into halftime.
Good position for AU to be able to do that. AU coming off the loss, sitting at 2-2 in conference play. The Bison coming off a win and are sitting at 3-1 in conference play coming into this evening. It's the 66th time that these two teams have met. Bucknell leads the series with 42 wins to 23 losses.
But once again, just impressed with the way the Bison play. They just, the length and activity, they don't have that great shot blocker that they've had the last couple of years with Nana Fowlin, just a terrific defensive player, but they're long. They've got length at every position. So the passes that normally are easy ones for AU to connect, the cross-court passes, the skip passes that lead to those threes, they're not available so far here tonight.
Here's Harris as Jameer works it to Alexander. Saeed with 7 seconds on the shot clock. 4 seconds on the shot clock. And a lot of traffic. Feeds out left side. Here's Becton, puts up the three. No good. And that's how the first half comes to an end. All tied up at 27 apiece. Bucknell jumped out to a huge lead. Then the Eagles were able to turn the tide, open up a lead of their own. However, Bucknell battled back, and here we sit in a tie. Back here inside Bender Arena at the half were the Eagles and Bucknell Bison. They're all knotted up at 27 apiece, and really a first half of surges for both teams. You saw Bucknell have a 6-point scoring run, jumped out, had a 9-point lead at one point. Then you saw the Eagles have a 6-point lead at another point during that first half. Both teams at times looked really good, and at other times kind of got stagnant.
Yeah, it's a lot of turnovers in the first half. Neither team shot the ball very well. I thought defensively both teams were very active, and so the shots were at a premium. AU got a couple of to fall. Connor Nelson came in off the bench again and gave him a lift. So I think really for this second half, it's whichever team can make like 4 or 5 shots in a row is probably going to win the game.
And can hold on to the ball, right?
Can hold on to the ball, right.
You look at the Eagles, 8 turnovers. You look at the Bison, 6 turnovers. But one of the numbers that sticks out, points off turnovers, Bucknell, 12 in that department. So that's really was a big part. And also you look at the three-point range shooting, Bucknell, 50% on 8. And then you look at the Eagles, just 31%. And Penny had a chance to check in with Coach Brennan at the half. Penny, what do you have?
Well, your guys' concerns about the Eagles going into the second half were actually completely cohesive with assistant coach Scott Greenman. He said absolutely the same thing, that they've been a little stagnant in their offense, so the way they're going to be able to pull ahead is if they move around and are just more aware of what the Bucknell players are doing. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Penny. And yeah, so awareness, communication, a couple things that are really going to be key.
You have to move defenders. They let the Bucknell defenders kind of stay in place through long stretches in the first half. And you can't pass over their length. You got to move the body of the defender. And you move by cutting and screening. That's how you get body movement. And that's what AU's offense is predicated on. And so just need a little more activity and more consistency when it comes to setting screens.
So we'll see how this second half unfolds as we are underway from Bender Arena. Dan Lang, David Aldridge with you from Washington, D.C. Nice to have you with us on a Wednesday evening. By the way, we're on pace for about what you said today would be, what, a 55-53 game when we were talking to Coach Davis. Shows you know a little bit about basketball.
A little bit.
Shot there is short from Saeed.
Fouls on Saeed as well.
Saeed with 4 points, by the way, in case you were wondering, as he now has a couple fouls.
Yeah, he doesn't look very comfortable shooting the three. He's had a couple of looks tonight, and they did not look comfortable. You can tell when a shooter's in rhythm and they feel good.
And that's not his big strength.
No.
Anyway, I mean, he's coming into tonight under 30% from beyond the arc. But you're right, he just didn't look like it was really within rhythm and things that he was really into. Shot here from Newman is up. That's no good, and the rebound is for Gasparini.
Looks like he turned his ankle a little bit, either on the going up or on the landing, as he missed what would look like an easy layup.
15 seconds on the shot clock. All tied up at 27 apiece. Eagles looking for the lead as Saeed feeds out. There's Harris. And Avi Toomer and Harris getting tangled up.
Good head fake there by Jameer Harris. He could have taken that three. He was wide open. But instead, the head fake picks up the third foul on Toomer. And that's a big foul. But again, you see the Bucknell defense being extremely active. Newman's coming out. It looked like he pulled something.
Yeah. He doesn't look that smooth as he's walking out. He's walking straight down to the end of the bench.
Yeah. And that's the last thing Bucknell needs with their injuries, with Bruce Moore already not playing tonight.
Nelson feeding it to Gasparini. It'll stay with the Eagles with 3 seconds.
Good job there by Toomer with 3 fouls. You know, he didn't give up on the play. He kept his hands active and was able to knock it out of bounds.
Saeed takes the shot, no good, but draws the foul. So get a chance to go to the free throw line, because that's going to be on Meeks. So he now has a couple. As Saeed is at the free throw line.
That's the area where he has struggled this year, Dan. He got up into the 70s last year shooting free throws and looked like he had kind of turned the corner, but it's been a struggle again this season.
Yeah, 58% for Saeed coming into tonight from the charity stripe. Eagles, though, do retake the lead, 28-27. Ellis is going to draw foul from Bunyasit. So Jacob with his first. Meeks.
That's 3 on Saeed.
Sodas, but Saeed is going to be called.
It was good recognition by Bucknell, seeing that Sotos had good position down underneath. They went right at it, and now Mike Brennan's got a decision to make, because that's 3 fouls on Saeed Nelson.
Sotos gets it in to Toomer. Now here's Ellis feeding off. Sotos. 10 seconds on the shot clock as Toomer goes to work. 5 seconds. Sotos, long range shot, and that's going to be short, an air ball.
Good defense there by Jameer Harris. You know, Toomer was looking to attack there, and he kept him squared up, kept him in front of him, made him give up the ball, and they had to take a shot at the end of the clock. But now we'll see what America can do. 18 minutes left in the game, and Saeed Nelson on the bench in foul trouble. This is a major stretch for AU.
Turnaround shot, though, is good for Gasparini. His first points here in the second half, and the Eagles lead now sitting at 3.
He got great deep position there. Good entry pass there by Harris, and an easy layup.
Rhodes feeding off. That's going to be Rice. Now Ellis looks for a friendly. Gets it into the hands of Sotos. Meeks in the paint. Finding a little space. Rattles around. No good. And as it ends up out, it'll be Eagles basketball. So the Eagles right now have Becton, Connor Nelson, Gasparini, Bunyasit, and Harris out there up 3. Harris. There's Gasparini. Nelson looks over. Becton. Now Connor had a lot of room. Instead puts it back on the deck. 10 seconds to work with. Bunyasit looks to feed. It's going to be intercepted, though, by Meeks.
Yeah, that was...
telegraphed it a little bit.
Yeah, he sure did. You know, and he left his feet. I mean, that tells you exactly what he's going to do. So, another turnover for the Eagles.
Rhodes feeds off. Right side. Shot is up for Ellis. No good. Off the fingertips of Rhodes, but into the hands of Connor Nelson.
I think Stacey Becton got a hand on that, knocked it away from Rhodes. Trying to get it into Gasparini.
Wide open is Harris. Jameer looks to take advantage and does so. Sinks his second tray on his birthday. And the Eagles are up 6.
Yeah, if you're Mike Brennan, you really want to see either Harris or Bunyasit, you know, get themselves going here. That's a wide open shot.
Now that one no good for Meeks.
He was wide open. You want one of those guys to get going offensively with Saeed Nelson on the bench.
Eagles have equaled their largest lead of the game, which is 6. Bunyasit feeds off. Now Harris. Connor Nelson driving. Paint style, puts up the shot. Too strong, no good, and the rebound is there for Ellis.
Yeah, every time AU gets a little separation and has a chance to kind of extend the lead, they haven't been able to so far.
Becton, quick there again, quick here, and he'll flush it through. Big slam for Stacey Becton, and the Eagles have their largest lead of the game, 35-27.
That's a big stretch there for AU. Looked like Bucknell was going to get a steal, but again, high hands activity leads to transition and leads to the flush by Stacey Becton, and the Eagles are up by 8 with 15:33 left to play.
You're watching today's game on the Patriot League Network on Stadium. Dan Lang, David Aldridge with you from Washington, D.C., Bender Arena on the campus of American University. There you saw Stacey Becton. Big smile from him after that big slam right before we went to break. Eagles with their largest lead of the game, 35-27. Nice start to the second half. Eagles pitching a shutout so far, 8-0.
Let's see what Bucknell does now. They got, it's a tough stretch for them. See if Sotos or Toomer or one of their guys that's in the game can get going a little bit. AU's had a couple of good minutes here. Remember, Saeed Nelson went out with 18 minutes to go in the game. So far, these first 3 minutes, AU has been able to stay without him. Nice move.
Connor Nelson, a lot of room and able to take advantage. He's now in double digits. Connor has 10. Good answer to his game last time out when he had a career-high 19.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking those minutes, Those minutes have been available. I'll see another deflection by Connor Nelson. And a good...
And here he is again with the basketball, looking to feed it to Jameer, but it's going to be intercepted by Sotos.
Yeah, he was trying to do the right thing, just didn't get it done.
Harris gets the rebounds after the miss.
Glad to see Jacob Bunya sit there and not take the three. He could have. It's a transition three. There's nothing wrong with pulling up, but he knows that offensively they're in a good bit of rhythm right now, so let's keep the thing going and try to get the ball movement going again.
Eagles with a 10-point edge as Harris drives. Jameer puts up the teardrop and gets it to go.
I have not seen Jameer Harris take that shot all year. It's the first time I've seen him run with a little floater, and that's not a bad shot for him.
No. Underneath. Good stick-to-itiveness from Meeks. First points of the second half for Bucknell. Connor feeds out. Now here's Harris. Alexander. Back out to Harris. He'll dial it up. No good. Racing in was Becton. However, he was unable to secure it. Meeks grabbed it. Sotos looking to turn it into points. Unable to do so, but does draw the foul. So that's going to be on Bunya sitting for Jacob. That is his second. And there you see Jameer.
Yeah, here's Jameer Harris again, a little floater, and that's a good way to get yourself going if the three's not falling. And good sign for American, which is up 8 in the second half.
And catch the men up there, taking on Loyola, taking on the Greyhounds up there.
I might take you up on that, Dan.
So nice little doubleheader of action.
Absolutely. Why not?
Sotos at the free throw line, able to make good on both ends. And he steps out as Ellis is back in.
I'm sure Nathan Davis in that timeout talked about defense. Connor Nelson with activity really created some good opportunities for the Eagles offensively, but let's see if Bucknell defensively can lock in again as they had for most of the first half and cause some deflections and some turnovers.
Saeed also out there again for the Eagles. Alexander feeding off to Harris. 10 seconds on the shot clock as Jameer drives, puts it up, gets it to go, and draws the foul. A chance at a three-point play for the junior.
Jameer has been up and down so far this season. You expect that as a transfer coming in his first time. He hasn't played in a year. The timing, all those things. You have to work on those things. So they're trying, they're trying to get him to understand. Look, it's not going to come all at once. You got to not get down if you miss a few shots. Just continue to kind of figure out this offense and figure out your role in it. And he's having a good game tonight. He's doing very well.
11 points. It's the same stretch the Eagles lead by here in the second. They transferred from Minnesota, Jameer did. Feeding underneath. Shot is up and it's good. Making that count is Khalil Spear, his first point of the game. He's seen limited minutes so far, the 6'7" sophomore from Texas. Harris drives, looking for the answer, no good.
Spear with the block.
Yeah. Now looking for the answer and getting it, Walter Ellis.
Once again, Bucknell's not going anywhere. You have to execute.
Six-point lead for the Eagles just a few minutes ago. Was sitting at 10. So Bucknell has chipped away.
I was just about to say, here's a good defensive possession. And at the very end, Alexander's able to slip the screen, and good entry there for Saeed for the layup.
Josh with his first points of the game. Sotos, Alexander, now Nelson on him, so the feed off will go. The drive and the shot is up and it's good for Xander Rice.
Well, just fair because Harris had one of those at the other end, and now Rice has one for Bucknell. So Bucknell, again, continuing to play well, continuing to hang in there with all of their injuries and illness. Bison still only down by 6 with 11:16 to play here at Bender Arena.
Xander Rice at the free throw line.
And here they are. It's a 5-point game, so Bucknell's, if you're Bucknell, you wanted to make this an 8-minute game. Right? You want to be in it in the last 8 minutes, have a chance to win, and they do.
There's Gasparini. Turnaround shot on the paint. Able to get it to go. Wasn't the prettiest shot, but he gets the deuce.
But he went into Newman's body that time instead of going away from it. And that created the separation that allowed him to make the shot.
Here's Meeks putting it on the deck. Getting closer. Turnaround shot is up. No good. Gets his own rebound. And a whistle.
It's like the foul's on the floor. Maybe Gasparini.
Yeah, that's going to be on Gasparini. So that's Mark's second of the game.
Yeah, but the good thing for Bucknell is now AU in the penalty the rest of the way, the last 10:40 of this game, and Bucknell is one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country at 74%. So if they get to the line, they're going to do a lot of work at the line.
There's Coach Davis patrolling the sidelines. Yeah, they've only missed like 80 shots coming into tonight.
They're an excellent free throw shooting team. Now, some of those guys that are excellent are not playing tonight. So
correct.
May have to go a little deeper into the well there if you get fouled.
Gasparini loses a handle on it. Ellis is there.
Yeah, Mike Brennan can't even watch on that one. You're not mad at Saeed. He's trying to get the ball into Gasparini, but it wasn't. There's another high-risk pass with Stacey Beckton.
High risk, but they get the reward, right?
Yeah, exactly.
48-39. Eagles have the 9-point lead here with just under 10 minutes to play. Penny was over in the huddle with the Eagles. What do you have?
Well, I had exactly what they've been doing. They talked a lot about making sure that you're shooting from inside of the paint, using Mark Gasparini specifically, and it looks like it's really been working out. He's also approaching a double-double, so Mike Brennan really wanted to get him in there, get him the opportunity, and see if it pays off, and it looks like it is so far. Back to you guys.
And Bucknell again on the edge of, losing contact with AU. And Xander Rice knocks in a big shot, gets him back within 6.
Trying to feed it there down to Gasparini. There's going to be another whistle.
Fouls on Meeks trying to help. Don't mind that foul because otherwise it's a layup. So you don't mind that if you're Nathan Davis. It's good help side defense by John Meeks trying to help his teammate out.
Saeed.
He just lost it.
So it'll be Bison basketball.
And once again, here they come. AU just cannot separate from them tonight. They have good stretches where it looks like they're about to pull away, and then Bucknell makes a play at either end and gets itself back in, and now a chance to get within 4 or 3.
Yeah, the Eagles have seen their lead here in the second swell up to 12 points. But now it sits at 6. Sotos drives, shoots, no good. Rebound there for Bucknell.
That was good defense there by Connor Nelson. He did not let Sotos beat him to the spot. Made him take a tough shot over length.
Harris slings it over to Nelson. Harris will take it back. Now here's Saeed with 10 seconds.
They're trying to get the ball into Gasparini, but you just can't get it. And now they get it to him with 5 seconds on the clock.
Outside, here's Nelson. Saeed dialing it up. No good.
It's going that way. He's shooting free throws.
But you can see Mike Brennan frustrated there at the top of your screen.
Yeah, that was a great look by. It was a great look by Gasparini going weak side deep in the clock. Got his guy a wide open 3, and unfortunately Nelson couldn't make it. And then you wind up. Not only do you not get the points, but now Bucknell shooting free throws. It's 1-1. That's the 17th foul on American. So Bucknell should be shooting, and here they come.
So they're going to stroll down the floor.
And Bucknell has got where they wanted to get, Dan. They wanted it to be an 8-minute game with a chance to win it on the road, and they are pretty much there.
Walter Ellis at the free throw line.
And they continue, as we said, to make free throws. They're just an excellent team free throw shooting club, and that keeps you in games.
And Ellis has made 4 from the charity stripe so far here tonight. The rebound and the putback, no good, but another foul.
Great effort by Meeks, and that drives you nuts if you're Mike Brennan. A missed free throw, the guy on the inside who does not have position gets the offensive rebound. You just can't have that. You just can't have that. You have to box out in that situation. So now Meeks on the line with a chance to essentially make it a 3-point play.
So Gasparini is back in for Alexander. Three-point game. Eagles lead the Bison. 8 minutes to play here in D.C. Saeed flips it over to Gasparini, takes it right back. He drives, shot no good. Tip back is for Gasparini. He's into double digits with 10 points.
Again, following the miss by Saeed and getting to the front of the rim.
Rice works it over. Sotos. Here's Meeks with 5 seconds.
That will be a walk.
And he takes the extra step, so the travel. And that's going to bring us to a timeout on the floor with 7:16 left to play. The Eagles are up 5 on the Bison, thanks to Mark Gasparini tipping it back. Back here inside Bender Arena, you're watching today's contest on the Patriot League Network on Stadium. For the latest Patriot League news and information, follow the official league account on Twitter at Patriot League. Close game here tonight. Eagles clinging to a 5-point lead over the Bison, 50-45, just north of 7 minutes to go. Becton, Harris, Saeed Nelson, Bunyacit, and Gasparini out there right now for the Eagles. Saeed looking to push past Spear, does so, can't finish.
Yeah, it's just a tough night shooting for him. I mean, he had a good look there, and it's like the three. He just, missed it. He doesn't
1 for 10 from the field tonight for Saeed.
Excellent pass by Spear. And it's a 3-point game.
Becton feeding out to Bunyacit. Gasparini back out towards Saeed, 2 seconds. Long shot is up, rattles around, no good. The rebound, though, for Harris. And a whistle.
It's a big rebound, weak side by Jameer Harris.
So that's going to be on Xander Rice. As you see Harris battle against Ellis to pull that down.
Bucknell again, the defensive activity, just a little matchup zone here, not letting AU get anything open. And when Saeed gets an open shot there, he doesn't want to take it because he's just struggled so much. And here's another turnover.
Rice now to Spear, who's had some quality minutes here tonight, the sophomore. Sotos feeding outside. Sotos with 5 seconds. Drives, shoots, no good. Rebound there for Becton.
The Eagles need a basket here, Dan.
Clinging to a 3-point lead, AU is. As Becton drives.
Oh, it's a good block. It's a good
Ellis,
block.
right place, right time for the sophomore. Sotos, there's Ellis putting up the shot, hitting the shot, and they're all tied up.
Just like I said, Dan. I said it's going to be 55-53 with 20 seconds left. It's just the nature of this league and the nature of the opponent. You just know that's how Bucknell rolls.
Here's the feed out to Becton. He thought about shooting, instead feeds into Gasparini. Doesn't have the tender touch, and the rebound is there for the Bison. And you can see the energy that they've gotten here in the last couple of possessions that they've gotten back. And when you threw that out there when we were talking to Coach Davis before the game, he said, I'll take that.
Exactly.
That might have Meeks not there, but the finish is, and that's for Spear.
Yeah. And we talked, remember, at the beginning of the game that somebody for Bucknell is going to have to give them minutes that doesn't usually give them minutes. Well, it's been Spear and Rice have come off the bench and given them some big minutes and given them a 2-point lead with 4 minutes to go. See the miss here, but Spear following it up, just like we've seen Gasparini follow. This time it was Spear, and Bucknell has a 2-point lead.
Fans, take the Patriot League with you wherever you go. Live games and on-demand content is free and easy to watch online and on your mobile devices. Log on to patriotleague.tv. In addition, select Patriot League games are also available on a variety of over-the-top outlets and over-the-air television outlets. Visit patriotleague.com under the Media Center tab for more details. Dan Lang, David Aldridge with you from D.C., where Bucknell has battled back and now are up 2 on AU. Just under 4 minutes to play in this one. Connor Nelson looks over to Saeed, feeding it to Alexander outside. There's going to be Harris. He puts it up and it rattles home. So the Eagles are back up 1.
Big shot by Harris. You know, somebody is going to have to make a big basket for American, and that time it was Jameer Harris.
Here's Spear, who made that big basket as we went to break, and makes another big basket here. All 6 of his points have come here in the second half.
Yeah. And this is, you know, what we talked about. You need somebody to give you minutes, found minutes, and it's been Spear.
And he's one of the guys that is looked at as one of the best athletes on the roster. And when you look at what we've seen from him here in the second half, which is when he's seen most of his minutes in this game, that probably rings true.
Yeah, and again, you know, comes in for Newman, who's looks like he's a little dinged up and not, you know, quite 100%, and has given Bucknell some huge minutes.
He's gained 30 pounds, Spear has, the sophomore, since he arrived at Bucknell, so it also shows how hard he has worked in the weight room and with the strength and conditioning guys.
Absolutely.
Here's Harris, long-range 3, too strong off the back end of the rim, no good. Who else? Spear.
Yeah, he is again.
1-point lead for Bucknell, 54-53. 3 minutes to play from DC. Sotos puts it on the deck. Toomer rolling it to Spear. 5 seconds on the shot clock as Spear tries to work his way closer. Turnaround shot is up, no good. Knocked back out. Fresh shot clock for the Bison.
Like, I couldn't tell. I think it was that Meeks that got his hand on it?
I think so.
Out. 10 seconds now on the shot clock.
Underneath, and that's good for Toomer. His first points here in the second half. Up 3 are the Bison. Becton. Now here's Nelson. Said working toward the basket, puts it up and it rattles home. Said with just his second made basket from the field, had a chance to go to the free throw line.
That's just Said putting his head down. There wasn't a whole lot going on that possession. He just put his head down and again got into the defender, drew the contact, gets the and one, but you know, got to make the free throw to tie the game back up.
Big shot for the senior. And he's able to make good on it. So here we are with just under 2 minutes to go, all knotted up at 56 apiece. Here's Toomer. Now Spear looking to feed it over. It'll be out. And they're going to say it's out off Ellis, and it'll be Eagles basketball.
You know, we've seen Stacey Becton do that before, where on the overplay he's able to get a hand on it and then knock it off. And they're going to take a look at it, I'm sure, to make sure to see who it went off of. But you know, it's got to be conclusive evidence to overturn it. But we've seen Stacey Becton do that over the years here. Very long, right? Just confirming that it went out of bounds, and it did look like it certainly went out of bounds off of Ellis's right hand there. So we'll see.
And it happened right in front of Coach Davis, and of course he immediately wanted them to take a look at it, which they are doing.
So if it's American ball, they will get a full shot clock. If it stays with Bucknell, there'll be a 14-second shot clock.
Coach Davis mentioned the 5 years he's been head coach at Bucknell. Before that, 6 years head coach at his alma mater, Randolph-Macon. He also spent 5 years with Bucknell as an assistant on Pat Flannery's staff. And Pat Flannery is here tonight doing radio with voice of the Bison, Doug Birdsong.
Right.
So they're going to...
Referees are asking us if they can have more angles to look at the...
So they're going to look at our monitor.
Yeah, please.
So they're going to...
They want to run the replay back so that they can take a look. Here you go.
So we're pretty much talking to the truck along with the refs. Yeah, exactly. You're getting a live look here, exactly what they're seeing. And Doug Birdsong, the Bucknell radio guy, is also taking a gander.
Looks like, I think it's going to be American ball, looks like. I don't think they're changing the call. Yep, it's American ball. So we just saw the last possession, Saeed Nelson put his head down and create something. I think Mike Brennan would much rather them get it off of movement again, but you got to be precise with the pass. We've seen Bucknell defensively get their hands on a lot of balls so far in this game.
So here we are, all tied up at 56 apiece with 1:37 left to play here in this one in regulation. Alexander is going to have that one knocked out. The spear is going to get a hand on it, so it'll stay with AU.
Yep, that's exactly what we're talking about. Bucknell's going to overplay. They're going to be very aggressive. They have earned that right to be aggressive by how they've defended all night.
Alexander handing off. Here's Connor Nelson. Quick ball movement. Saeed's got it. 9 seconds on the shot clock. The senior trying to get closer. Knocked away by Spear, and Meeks will bring it down the floor for Bucknell.
How about Khalil Spear giving Bucknell his minutes tonight? Just outstanding. Using his length to get the steal off of, one of the best ball handlers in the Patriot League. Excellent job.
Meeks has it knocked away. Here's Saeed driving, shooting, no good, and the rebound comes down for Toomer. Quick flush over toward Ellis. And a whistle as Becton.
So it's double bonus for Bucknell.
Yep.
And Ellis has shot the ball extremely well from the free throw line tonight. No, in that last one, Saeed, look, you want him to be, you trust him in that situation, but they got two guys back here, Dan. I just don't know that that's the best move in that particular situation. Maybe you look and see if there's a trailer that you can hit, and if not, you can bring the ball out. I know he's trying to be aggressive. He wants to get the advantage, but I thought that's a tough shot to try and make.
And Ellis has 6 of his 12 points from the free throw line, puts his team up 2, and that's going to prompt the Eagles to call a timeout here with 42.9 seconds to play here in regulation.
So we'll see how Mike Brennan wants to play it. You could do 2 for 1. You could try to do 2 for 1. I'm not a big proponent of that because you're rushing. No matter what you think you're doing, you're rushing. And I'd rather you just take your time and get a good shot in this situation. But, we'll see how they play it. Obviously, if they miss, they have to foul. And again, we talked about it before. This is the problem when you're behind Bucknell late in the game because they have multiple guys that step up to the line and make their free throws. So we'll see how AU plays it. If a guy like Connor Nelson is available weak side, or maybe a Jameer Harris who's knocked down a couple of threes tonight, those are options. But you always feel good if you're Mike Brennan giving the ball to your senior point guard in these kind of situations and seeing if you can break down the defender. We didn't the last time. We'll see if we can do it this time if that situation rises again. I got to tell you, I'm so impressed with Bucknell. They just, you just love the fight that they've shown tonight.
Penny over behind the Eagles bench. What do you have?
Looks like they're going to use Saeed for hopefully what is their final play of the night. They're going to have him go for a layup, it seems, and just be really aggressive. So we'll see how that turns out.
Thanks, Penny. We'll see as Nelson drives, shoots, and makes. So a big shot there from Saeed, the equalizer, and we're all tied up at 58.
Well, if it turns out you sort of have a 2 for 1, and so now Bucknell, we'll see what they do. They've been successful with Khalil Spear inside, really giving them some minutes, but good stick-to-itiveness there by Saeed. The initial drive was blocked off, but he didn't back up. He just squared himself up, continued the attack, and got to the rim.
5.2 seconds separate game clock from shot clock here as regulation winds down here at Bender.
And AU does not have any timeouts left. At least they're not listed with any timeouts. So make or miss, they've got to push the ball up the floor after Bucknell's shot, whatever it is. So we'll see what Bucknell does. Ellis has shot the ball well, but you still have Avi Toomer. I know he has not had the biggest offensive game, but Avi Toomer is a money player, and you certainly could see him try to break down either Jameer or Saeed off the dribble and try to get to the front of the rim.
So Toomer will get the ball in.
Whoa! And almost a turnover, as Spear was not expecting the inbounds pass.
So Sotos now trying to navigate the Bucknell offense with 15 seconds left to play here in the game. Here's Toomer, back to Sotos. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Sotos feeds off to Toomer, who drives, bounce pass underneath, loose ball, put up, and it's no good. But there is going to be a whistle underneath. So that's going to be on Jameer Harris.
It's a tough call. It's probably the right call, but there's no timeout. Brennan's trying to get a quick timeout. There's no timeout there. But Jameer Harris is going on the floor trying to get the loose ball, and let's see. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, okay. All right, that's a good call. Good call. I thought he was already on the floor. He was in the process of going to the floor. So we'll see what Avi Toomer, we said it was going to probably be him in this situation.
69% free throw shooter on 49 attempts this season.
And again, no timeouts for Americans, so you got to push it and see who's on the floor to maybe take that last shot. You've got Connor Nelson, you've got Harris.
So both shots made there by Avi Toomer.
See what they do. Bunyas is coming in now.
So another guy that can shoot from long range as Josh Alexander checks out with 5.4 seconds left here in regulation. 2-point edge for Bucknell.
I think in this, it looks like, I think you're just giving the ball to Saeed Nelson and letting him attack.
So here's Saeed bringing it down the floor, whipping it over to Connor Nelson. He puts up the shot, and it's good! Nelson hits it! Connor Nelson sticks the tray, and the Eagles win it here tonight, 61-60, with a big shot from Connor Nelson.
Not bad ending, huh, Dan?
Wide open shot, and he makes it. Coming off that huge game against Lehigh, the 19-point game, and here tonight, sticks the game winner as time expires from 3-point range, giving the Eagles a 1-point victory.
I'm pretty sure that was not the play that was drawn up in the huddle, Dan. But that was the play that got the thing done. What a shot by Connor Nelson. Wow. Wow.
Saeed Nelson happy, Connor happy, everybody pumped up for the Eagles. And Penny Commit is standing by with head coach Mike Brennan, guys.
Coach, such an exciting win for you guys tonight. You're now heading into a really long home stretch. How are you taking tonight's victory into that?
No, it's a great win. I mean, they're obviously, they test you. Inside, I can't give him enough credit. His unselfishness and his confidence in his teammates. For a guy with that ability to make that play, that's how he's able to help make us win. He makes us win, and those are the type of plays that do it.
And obviously Cy Nelson has a great game, but I also want to talk a little bit about Connor Nelson. He comes off the bench every game. He's sinking threes. How do you see him progressing the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, he runs around, he tries, he listens, he plays hard. You know, so he's helping us a ton. But everybody's doing that on our team. We just got to keep improving.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, Penny. Thanks, Coach Brennan. And Mike, always even keeled.
Absolutely, win or lose. Win by 20, lose by 20.
But look at the, I love the patience there by Connor Nelson, the ball fake to get himself open, and then Drano. Oh, what a shot.
And with that, the Eagles pull off the victory, 61-60. For our broadcast partners, David Aldridge and Penny Commit, I'm Dan Lang saying good night from Bender Arena. Again, the final score, the Eagles beat the Bison 61-60. Good night, everybody.